Hey guys, Sy-Klone here, back again with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Mattel Creations exclusive Masters of the Universe Origins Sy-Klone, or as my good buddy Evil Villain likes to call him, Twisty Fuck. Seriously, he needs to get a channel that is just called Shit Evil Villain Says, because the random shit that comes out of that man's mouth is absolutely priceless, if you ask me. That said, getting back to the review at hand, this figure is, of course, brought to us by the fine folks over at Mattel. For those of you who missed the part where I said it was a Mattel Creations exclusive, that is. And if you did, shame! Because you better start paying attention now, because unlike Rock On, who we took a look at earlier today, check that review out if you haven't already, just so you know how indifferent towards shape-shifting rock people I am. I'll tell you, while I was indifferent towards Rock On, I'm also indifferent towards Sy-Klone. Not one of my favorite characters. Like, not even close. I would have rather we gotten Extendar or somebody like that. But he is coming in the near to distant future, it looks like. So, fingers crossed he turns out as good as this figure. Because I'm going to tell you, while I am not a Sy-Klone fan, like my buddy Jeremy DeWitt from the My Wife's Gonna Kill Me podcast and or Podcast of the Universe, or even T-Biz, like literally the only two Sy-Klone fans I know, this figure just does something for me. I really like this figure. And I do have one gripe with it, but you know, nothing's perfect, so we'll get into that. But why don't I shut up? We'll cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look-see at all Sy-Klone has to offer in terms of accessories. Starting off with the mini comic, which, unlike a Rock On, did not come in a nice little plastic baggie. That kind of sucks. Also, worth noting, Rock On was like 20 bucks. This guy was 25. That said, he does come with a decent amount of stuff, I guess. He is technically a deluxe at the deluxe price point at this point in time. So, you know, it kind of evens out. I would have liked maybe alt hands for the deluxe price point or some kind of blaster. I don't know. But there you go. There's the comic. MOTU logo on the back. It'd be nice if they put a cross-sell all the figures we're going to get this year on there, but whatever. Whatever. And as far as accessories go, he comes with his shield, which does fit on his arm very well. He comes with the 2000X Battle Ring. Hell yeah. I'm very excited for that. Can hold it in his hand as well. But this will clip onto his back, exactly where mine is going. And then he comes with two kind of red tornado effects. Very reminiscent of the DC Multiverse Red Tornado I reviewed, which if you have that figure, probably use that tornado base on this guy and it'll look pretty cool. But he does come with two of those, so you can put them on his arms and whatnot. And that's your lot. I think that's a fair amount. Four decent accessories, 25 bucks. You get the comic, you get a figure that's got some decent amount of new tooling on him. I'm okay with that price point. I think the only thing reused on this figure are the legs, the hips, and the lower legs there. Other than that, everything else appears to be brand new sculpt. The head is new. Well, the double ball peg in the head is probably reused. The arms are new. The hands probably reused. Maybe, I don't know. You could see his waist kind of spinning about. Well, that's because you can pop his arms up like this and spin him around. That said, you can do this and he'll spin around much better. But unlike ye old Kenner days, where they put out Insaniac from Small Soldiers and is it Twister Strike Scarecrow from the Legends of the Dark Knight Batman line, his waist doesn't click into place. It's just kind of free moving here. It's not loose, it doesn't click into place, and I think that's what it should have done, if you ask me. Because once you gear him up and have all the stuff on him, he does have a tendency to spin around, no problem. But, you know, that's just me, being nitpicky, I'm sure. At least the arms aren't on floppy hinge joints. You actually have to put them out. And he's got this cool lenticular, holographic, whatever you want to call that, thingy on his chest that looks pretty cool as well. As far as articulation goes, his head's on a double ball peg. Shoulders go out, obviously, forward and back. Now, his head, arms, hands, boots pop off. You cannot pop him apart at the waist, obviously, because of the gimmick. Just fair. He's got a single elbow. He's got rotation in the elbow, swivel in the wrist with a hinge. Obviously, his waist turns. It's part of the gimmick. Oh, look, you can see the clip for the battle ring there. Hips can kick out, back down, forward and back. He's got a swivel in the knee with a knee hinge. I will tell you, these have the little kind of clicky knee joints, but they're not overly tight. And they're not loose either. So I do appreciate that. That's a nice change of pace, I think, from the incredibly tight joints we saw on figures like Fangor. He had really tight knees, at least on the two I opened and messed around with. That said, he does have a boot swivel. So there's a hinge in the foot with a rocker. He's got smooth feet. These might be new feet. I don't know. But there you go. That's your lot for Sy-Klone. Now, gearing him up here, at least how I'm going to have him displayed. Get the shield up and over the gauntlet there. It's like that Ozzy Osbourne song, Over the Mountain. It locks right in there. It ain't going nowhere. The rings around his forearm definitely help hold that in place. So that's cool. And then as far as the battle ring goes, we'll say the elbows feel a little tighter than the knees. The battle ring, again, you can put it in his hand, I guess. How exactly? Not too sure. I want to say like that. So it's a big giant claw thingy. Maybe it goes on the outside like this. I don't know. I don't know how this thing's supposed to clip in his hand, but I always clip it to the back. It just clips in right here. Let's do it the right way, stupid. There you go. Just like that. And you can lower it down if you want. I think it's actually supposed to go under his arms, but, you know, whatever. You can do whatever you want. But this is how I'm going to display mine. It gives him a nice silhouette, that ring on the back. That's how I have my 2000X one displayed. That's how I have my Classics one displayed. That's right, bitches. I got a MOTU Classics Sy-Klone. Literally sitting right by me, but I'd knock a bunch of stuff over to get him out. Shout out to Evil Villain for the hookup on that one. Because, again, he doesn't like the twisty fucker. But I gotta tell you, between the Classics, the 2000X, and this one, funny enough, I have all the Sy-Klones. I got a vintage one, too, somewhere. But this one's one of the better ones. I think the Classics one and this one, probably the best, obviously, from an articulation standpoint. But they're just fun, you know? I like them. 2000X is always going to be near and dear to me, though, because I love the samurai aesthetic on that figure. But bringing in our two regulars, where we wrap this thing up here. Got the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulas. And the infamous 11 Spawn. Because again, with these Mattel Creations Origins releases, until we got like a lot of them to talk about, I don't have much for size comparisons for these videos. So hopefully it keeps them short and sweet. Probably not, but you know what? You rolled the dice when you clicked on the video. Don't blame me for your mistakes. So with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up. Some final thoughts. Overall, while I may have been a lot more indifferent towards Rock-On earlier today, again, check that review out if you haven't already. Really appreciate it if you did, whether or not you agree with me or not, that is. I have to say, the good old Sy-Klone here is a very pleasant surprise. I like Rock-On. Very indifferent towards Sy-Klone, not one of my favorites. I like the 2000X Sy-Klone, but the 2000X Sy-Klone, this is not, even though he does have the battle ring, like the 2000X version did. But I think the fine folks over at, say it with me now, Mattel did a very, very, very fine job of updating the vintage Sy-Klone in the modern Origins line, despite the fact that I think the waist could have been managed better. That's about my only gripe with this figure. They gave him some cool effects. They gave him the battle ring to make him a little bit more like 2000X. His shield is very, very secure on his arm. You know, some of the shields have a tendency to pop off. His does not. Locks on there really, really nice and tight and snug, might I add. And I'm very happy with this release. If this is a sign of what's to come, I'm very excited for Extendar, Demo Man, and Geldor. So time will tell what those will be like. I'm guessing Extendar is going to be a little bit more deluxe like this guy, but the other two, maybe not so much. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.